We're live. It's the Bernowski, founder of Million Dollar Party Girl, with episode 11 of Million Dollar Downline. And we had some techie glitches getting started. So sorry if you were following the prior scheduled post. I actually had to delete that. So there's some techie glitches going on. I'm not sure if it's Facebook Live or BeLive.tv, which is what I use to broadcast. So I'll take one for the team. So good for you guys to know. It actually looked a lot different when I scheduled the broadcast on the Facebook side. So I think they're making some updates. Right? So beware. Techie glitches could be coming if you're using BeLive or even on Facebook Live. So hey, Marilyn and Danielle, thank you guys for joining us. Everybody's coming in. So thank you for your patience. If you're just coming in, again, we had some techie glitches. We had to delete the scheduled broadcast and start over. And so, you know, lesson number one, when you're live streaming, it's live. And so if you have to, there's always that delete button. Okay. You can always delete. All right. So I am going to bring in my fabulous guest. Here comes Amanda. And if you guys are watching on the replay, hello to our replay viewers and to anybody, of course, watching on YouTube as well. We appreciate you tuning in. This is a new weekly show called Million Dollar Downline. And so every week I'm going to be interviewing extraordinary women who have achieved just amazing success in direct sales and network marketing. And guess what? They're just like you. Ordinary women achieving extraordinary things. So, hey, Amanda, how are you?
Hey, I'm great, thanks. How are you?
I took Amanda on a little wild ride to get ready for the show. She's like, are we broadcasting? But that's live streaming. Seriously, you just got to go with it.
Right.
So Amanda Buckle-Pineau is in Nova Scotia, correct?
That's right.
Nova Scotia, a member of our Visionista community. So we first connected over there, and then she applied to be a guest on the show. So if you have a $1 million downline, I will put the link above this post. We would love to tell your story as well. And what really impressed me about Amanda, well, she just is a sweetheart. I mean, look at that smile. You could tell she just leads from the heart. But Amanda, you've really only been in direct sales for a short period of time, right? You started in 2014.
That's right. Yeah. So a little over 3 years. I guess we're almost 4 years.
4 years. And last year was the year you hit the $1 million down. Well, actually, I think it was like $980,000, right?
We were so close.
I was like, you're in. It's close enough. And prior to that, I think it was like 300,000. So you had a huge growth spurt last year.
Oh, we did. Yeah, we were just under 300,000 last year, the year before that. So it was a huge, huge jump for us.
Huge jump. So we want to dig in and get to all that goodness to find out exactly what you did. So yeah, imagine going from 300,000 in organization sales, which would have been 2016 for you, to 2017 hitting almost $1 million. So you do not have a direct sales background. And so that's why I love telling these stories, because literally there's just so many incredible women doing amazing things that have never done direct sales before. So you were running a daycare in your home.
Yeah, no, that's right. I was a stay-at-home mom, but I had a daycare where we had anywhere from 5 to 6 kids throughout the day. And that's what I did full-time.
Full-time daycare mama. So really an entrepreneur, because you're running a business, right? With toddlers.
With toddlers.
Toddler business. And tell us how you got your direct sales start. Had you been looking for another business opportunity? What lit the fire?
Well, in all fairness, I reached out to my upline now. I was looking to purchase some Tupperware. I had some old cereal stores that were cracked and had bugs in them, so I wanted to get some Tupperware because I knew it was a brand that would last, and I also knew that I could replace them if they had been broken. So I was just looking to buy, and being the, I guess the the upline that she is, she instantly started to talk about the opportunity and some of the perks that came along with it. And then I thought, well, you know, why not? It would be a great time to be able to get out of the house once or twice a month. I wasn't looking for anything crazy, but the thought of having a hobby and getting away from these tiny children sounded really appealing to me.
And, you know, so many times I talk about the importance of customer service. You know, everybody wants to know like the magic to sponsoring and the magic to booking parties. And it really just starts with servicing your customers and having those conversations. And that's exactly what your upline did with you. So what did she say? Like, I think everybody would love to know. What did she say that, you know, you're calling to place an order? How did she turn that into a sponsoring conversation?
Oh, I think we just talked about how much it cost, and I remember saying something along the lines about the cost of it and how I go about getting a discount. And she did offer me to do a party at first, and I thought, well, I'm not really one to host a party, but I love going to parties. And then so she just said, you know, if you open your own account today, if you join Tupperware today, then you can get the discount that you're looking for and start going to more parties. So just, I don't know, just chit chat back and forth. There was no pressure. She just mentioned it casually. And my instinct, I think, was to say no. And I thought, well, you know, maybe it is a great time to do it. And then I asked her some of the perks that came along with it. Like how many hours do I actually have to work? Because I wasn't looking for anything, because I was very tired at the end of the day. So I didn't want anything crazy.
Yeah.
And she was just honest, I guess. And here we are.
But the key is you were asking her questions,
yeah.
You know, instead of her just kind of dumping all this information on you.
She kind of throw up the information. She just
not throw up on you. Tip number one. Draw people in. Let them ask you questions. And it sounds like she made it pretty simple. So many people do start for that discount. And I think that we can't discount the discounters because you know, that makes it easy. I think that helps to take a lot of the fear out of getting started in this business. You know, here you were a leader just waiting to be developed, and she made it really simple for you to say yes. So great lesson there. So you didn't really start with a grand design or a big plan. How did you go from that to moving into a leadership position?
Well, once I said yes, and then she started to give me a little bit more of the perks that came along with it. She threw out that you can earn a trip to Disney with Tupperware, that you can take your entire family to Disney. And at that time, we were about 3 weeks away from getting married, and we had already made the decision to start saving to take our son to Disney. So finding out that I can earn a free trip was really appealing. So I just asked what I needed to do to get there, and that was my ultimate focus. I don't know that I initially set out to be a director and an organization leader. I set out to get the Disney trip, the free trip, but all the perks came with it as a result.
Ah, so she kind of hit that hot button for you,
yeah.
Right? I'm putting that on the screen, that you built a $1 million organization in 4 years, less than 4 years. And so you needed to sponsor to earn the trip?
Sorry?
Sponsoring was a requirement. Building that team was a requirement to earn the trip?
Absolutely. I had to be a director to get into the program to earn the trip.
Okay.
Yeah.
So had she said, you know, it's time to move up to be a director, you probably would have been like, no.
Absolutely. No, I never. The word director wasn't in my sights. It was Disney, and director was just a step to get there initially.
Okay. It's the baby steps, right? And you know, kudos to her, because it sounds like she's got a great leadership style, that this is how she kind of helps, you know, in developing people. And I think that is very smart, is to focus on, tune into what people want, help them get it, build that confidence, and then people grow from there. And that's exactly what happened to you. And so obviously your team just went, you know, blasted off. Tell me what that, you know, those first 2 years looked like. How did you start sponsoring so many people that you ended up building, you know, you went from 300,000 to almost $1 million at the end of last year?
Well, I think I didn't even realize it was happening. Like I said, I started recruiting people and building my team to get the sales I needed to get that ultimate goal, which was the Disney. And our first year, we only did $52,000, and I was really excited with that. I thought that was a really big deal. And then we jumped a bit more the following year, and it was just, I think, taking what my upline taught me as far as how she recruited me and how she trained me, and bringing that into my own people. Before I knew it, I had leaders on my team that I knew were going to be directors. So even once I earned that Disney trip, the first one, I knew it was happening whether I had any control over it or not, and it was really exciting to watch them.
So did you start to identify those future directors on your team, where you kind of like have that little talent scout hat on, where you were looking for who was going to be next?
Absolutely, yes. And always, you always have to have that on. I always have a list of even my next managers. Even I knew right away who my first director was going to be, and I was pretty confident who my second one was going to be, and even right down through their downline.
Connie saying only 52K. That's pretty darn good, right?
It really is, yes.
This is why you're successful, though, because you're not just settling for what's coming your way. You're already looking at that next big goal. So,
absolutely.
Tell us what your onboarding process looks like to help you identify those future directors. What happens when you sponsor somebody? What kind of onboarding are you doing to get them started?
To get them started right away, I think the first thing I do is encourage them to host a party, whether they tell me they're just in it for the discount or not. We go right into having their very first party, and I'm going to come help them with the party, or their recruiter is, if I've trained their recruiter the proper way. And I think from there, seeing what sort of motivation that they have and how excited they are about the product, that's how I determine, I guess, what I determine where they're going to go, and where to put my time and where to focus with them. Because you have some natural born leaders and who really want to go big, and the second they get their hands on that product, they have really big goals. And just provided them the tools. I like we said, we don't throw up all the information on them. We just provide some of the information for them, and then ask them what their why is and what they would like to achieve.
Do you have them complete like a Google form, a survey? How are you working with them to find out what their why is?
I either just call them or ask them through Messenger. I just come right out and ask them.
One-on-one, right?
Yeah, there's no techie there. It's just asking questions.
Ask people. But what I love is that everybody's getting the same start, because you and I both believe in the party and the strength of the party to launch your business. So do you work with them to get multiple bookings in that first month, to help them kind of fast start, even if they're just saying they want the discount?
Absolutely. If they're they just wanted the discount, I still encourage the party. And sometimes after speaking with them, if I find out, you can kind of sense if they're a little bit nervous about the idea of doing a party. So I'll take the pressure off of it and call it just a practice party. So with us, I would say, just get 2 or 3 of your girlfriends over. I'm going to come over with you. We're going to play with the product. No pressure. We're just going to play with the product, make a quick demo, and go from there. And that will generally, if I'm doing my job right, will get them one more party at least. And then that kind of lights the fire a little bit under them, because I will go to that party with them to help them out. If they're local to me, if not, technology gets involved. But it's just that initial, I want them to let me in the door first. Because it'll always light the fire under them once they start playing with the product and they realize they actually love the product. And
And it's a great workaround to, the biggest obstacles, which is fear. It's either fear of failure or fear of success. They kind of both go hand in hand. And you're really taking that completely out of the equation by, kind of drilling it down to just the simpleness of, let's just play with the product and have some fun, right?
Well, there's no point to put any pressure on it, because I don't, like you said, we don't want them scared. It really is easy to do. A party is easy almost regardless of what business that you have. So I just want them to try it once or twice to see that they really can do it. And even if they are in it for the discount, we have incentives where if they do have a couple of parties, it helps get their kit paid off for them. So that's another little incentive to get them to actually try it. And knowing that I'm going to come and do it for them certainly helps them out.
So you're really investing your time. It's not just have that grand opening, but it sounds like you're there side by side to make sure that they get the results that you know will help them succeed.
Oh, absolutely. Yes. It's like any job. You have to train, and you're not just going to learn it overnight.
Yep. Very true. And so you mentioned that you use a whiteboard and I think a refrigerator calendar to stay on track. Tell us a little bit about that. Do you have your whiteboard handy, and what do you use it for?
Sure. Well, I do have my whiteboard. It's a little messy because it's close to our month end, but I do. So I have my whiteboard.
Oh, I love it.
Behind me. So it's quite large because it has everything on it. I track my org sales. I track my base team sales because they are two different things for us. I keep my notes of challenges I have on, important times. And of course, I have my goal tracker. And that's key for me. I need to always see my goals.
Is that like a thermometer that you color? Are you coloring that?
It is, and I just color it in.
Oh, that's awesome. See, low tech works, right? And then how are you communicating that with your team? Do you go live and show them your whiteboard?
Absolutely. So I go live and I'll take pictures of it, show them the board, or just show them the thermometer, depending on what we're talking about. But it's there for everybody to see. Usually we're into our final week of the month. So the next few days that gets covered with a lot more Post-it notes and different things as I need little reminders and more sales are coming in. So they do enjoy getting to see the mess of it. And then at the start of every month, it's completely cleaned off. And I think that for me, that is the scariest thing because there's no chaos happening.
That's when it's like, I got to get to work. I got to put some stuff on this board, right?
Exactly.
And sometimes the low tech, is the best because it's there in front of you every single day and it's duplicatable. So do you find that your directors follow your lead and use a similar system?
They all have some sort of system that works for them. I have a few that are a lot more techy than me, but we all have something similar in place where we're seeing our goals and we're tracking them and then we're making them very visible to our teams.
And what's the thermometer say this year? What's at the top?
$2 million.
Woo! All right, everybody give her a big applause. Let's see that applause emojis. And we do want to encourage you, for anybody that's watching, to ask a question because we'll pop it up on the screen. And this is a great opportunity for you to get advice from a leader in the trenches that has had some pretty amazing success. So feel free to ask your questions. Bonnie's saying, I love this. Yeah, I'm all about the tracking. And if you can use whiteboard, that's even better. Oh, here we go. We're getting some applause. Thank you, Ashley. So it looks like she might be related.
Ashley's my sister. She just went on our last Disney trip with us.
And is she a director too?
No, she's not. No, she's just one of my biggest supporters.
Oh, we need those support people, especially when it's a family member, right? So here's a question from Amanda. She's asking, what did you find helped you most to promote out leaders and develop those directors? I think that's a great question. Thanks, Amanda.
It is. I think just recognizing my leaders. I didn't push director on anybody. It was just naturally kind of seeing where they were. If I had somebody who recruited in a particular month, the first thing I did was reach out to them and congratulate them and say, you are on your way to being a director, or send them a little card with congratulations, you are our future director. That's how I would introduce people. And then seeing where they went from there, the more that I saw how they worked with their teams, and then that's how I guess I knew to work with them a little bit more and encourage them. And I basically give them the exact same steps that I was given to to step up to director and knowing what their why is. So my job was always to remind them what their why was and what their ultimate goal was.
And so it sounds like you're really focused on building the belief and the confidence, possibly before they could really see it in themselves.
Absolutely. And that's how it was for me. Right. So that's how I guess how my uplines and everybody above me kind of did it for me. They believed in me when I didn't believe in myself. So now it's in turn, it's my job to do it for my people as well.
And also recognizing, especially because that was your experience, that it's not always about the money.
That's right.
You've got to really find out what drives people and tune into that. And is there a specific goal plan in terms of number of parties, number of sponsors, when somebody, was ready to start building? Tell us how you help them create that plan.
I think it all really depends on what they're looking for. I have some people on my team who I will say, go get 3 new people this month and let's get them active. And then I have some who I'll just say, let's just get 1 for now. Just kind of talking to them and feeling them out a little bit to figure out what it is that they want. And I don't want to scare anybody by pushing it on them. So if I've given somebody their goal to just get 3, and I keep it simple, let's just get three people. Then the next step will be to get them active. But it's giving them just that one step at a time. It seems to be working for us because there's nothing else. They don't have to worry about anything after the fact. They just have to worry about right now. Let's get those 2 or 3 new people that they've been challenged to get. And then I come back with another challenge, of course, but baby steps.
And do you find that really gets that motivation kind of going to create the momentum that once they sponsor that 1 or the 2nd or the 3rd, all of a sudden they're just taking off?
Absolutely. In most cases, once they just need to get that 1 person under their belt and help get them recruited. And then when they get to see the excitement that their new recruit has about the product and about what their goals are, then I'm finding their recruiter are getting that same excitement about it. And it's naturally just happening on its own without me having to push it. I'm always putting it out there, of course, and reminding them the different things. If you just add 1 more person to your team, that's your next step to being stepping up a level to manager, let's say. I do that every single month, regardless of what step they're at. I'm just trying to promote the next step for them, but still doing it in baby steps because I don't want them scared to get there. I want them to try, and I want it to be, I guess their goals have to be achievable. I don't want to, give them too much to handle.
Yeah. And that's why, that's the number one reason people don't achieve their goals is because they're just so unsurmountable that people just give up. So that's a great leadership skill that you have in not only seeing kind of those diamonds in the rough and using confidence to build them, but also taking them through those little baby steps. So kudos to you. And so Sherry Louise is asking that she'd love to utilize her whiteboard better and would love to learn a little bit more about your tracking system. So you've got your thermometer on there, and you mentioned you have, so is it your personal business on there as well as your organization?
Yes, so I have both.
I think everybody wants to see the whole thing. What are the Post-its?
The Post-its.
What are the Post-its about?
Well, you know what? I did a Facebook party last night, and the Post-its are my leftover notes because I put my cheat sheet on my whiteboard during a Facebook party.
Ah, there we go.
But I have my ultimate. At the start of the month, I have what my organization sales are, what my goal is, as well as for my base team. And I just have it directly below. And then every couple of days, I scratch it off and I put down what we need. So if I started the month with $85,000 as a goal, I'll scratch it off and say, now I need $73,000. And now we're down to needing $35,000. Rather than putting where we're at in sales, I always just change the goal to what we have left to get.
Ah, I like that. And do you do like a Monday kind of state of the union with your team where it's like, here's where we're at and here's what we need?
Absolutely. I do it usually every Saturday morning for us because Friday is the end of our week. Saturday morning, I'm going live in both my my personal team as well as my organization, and cheering anybody on who did really great that week or stepped up a level that week, and then letting them know where we are for sales and what we have left to do to get our goals.
Okay, so they're used to seeing you communicating this on a weekly basis, and it sounds
Absolutely.
like they probably, do you get a lot of interaction? Do a lot of people tune in with that consistency?
I definitely do, because we do Facebook Live now, which is great. They can come back and watch it later. But if I don't post the goals, especially at the start of every month, they're actually asking where they are.
Wow. That's like the best case scenario. People are like, where is it?
I know. I love when I'm getting the message saying, where are we for sales? What do we have left to do? They really want to know. So that just, it reminds you that it is a team effort. It's not just me. This can't be done without any of these guys. So it's really great knowing that they're just as invested as I am.
And how long did it take you to see that team come together where it wasn't just you, it was everybody working kind of for the greater good?
For us, almost right away. I was very honest with people when I started recruiting them, because I had that Disney goal, and I probably played my son card a little bit because that was the goal. But when I saw how hard that they would work for that, because I would get those messages saying, how close are we to getting Riley to Disney? It wasn't how close are we to get our sales, it was getting my son to Disney. And that became, my goal became their goal. And that's when I knew that this was something bigger than what I ever imagined it could be. And it just, as the more we grow, I think that the better it gets.
But it sounds like you never made it about you. Even the Disney trip, you made it about your son.
Well, it is, and that's exactly what it is, yes.
And who doesn't want to help a mother take their son to Disney World, right?
That's right.
I think that's a great lesson, because so many times in direct sales, and I get this all the time, people will message me and I just need this much to reach my goal. Can you place an order? And that can be a real turnoff. It's like, why should I care? But you always made it. And it just sounds like that's the person that you are. So kudos to you. Sherry say here, I'm going to put this on the screen for you, that she loves the strategy to touch base live with the team each week. Yes. As leaders, I think that's the biggest challenge, is that we've never had more ways to communicate, and yet it's a struggle to communicate, right? So consistency is key. It's that consistency of you doing it, that same time, same channel is why that really works for you and helps you build that momentum. And of course, Facebook Live, right? Amazing tool.
Oh, Facebook Live was a game changer for us, because people don't really read the posts as much as they listen to the video. And because it's a Saturday morning, and it's an early Saturday morning, I'm usually in my pajamas or my house coat. And they want to tune in to kind of see the fun of that too. But it definitely makes it so much easier to connect with our teams.
And so it sounds like you're just yourself. You're not worrying about, getting showered and looking perfect. It's just kind of like the real you.
It's me and my jammies. That's how I roll.
I bet you they love that though. Right?
They definitely do, yes.
What are some other ways that you're using Facebook Live? Because since this is a big game changer, are you incorporating that into your team training as well?
We are. I've started doing even my meetings now through Facebook Live for both my team and my org, and even with even my own personal, my VIP groups, I'm doing a lot more live that way. I'm just using it all around. I find if I am doing just an easy recipe at home, if I go live into my team page, they can see me using my product and see this easy recipe for them. And I'm definitely seeing an increase in their confidence, because the more I'm doing it, the more I encourage them to do it, and they're starting to do it now as well.
You've got to lead the way, right?
Right.
Are you using Facebook Live through your phone, or are you using other technology?
Whatever I have happening around me. If I'm having a meeting, I'm on my computer. If it's like if I'm just in my kitchen doing a quick recipe, it's on my phone. Sunday morning, I was doing a little cooking demonstration. I had my laptop because I was live in one group. I had my phone going because I was live in another group. I was multitasking.
So wait, you were live you had a device, your phone and your laptop, and it was the same broadcast, but into two different places.
Absolutely.
And that's just a simple hack, because people ask me about that all the time. They're like, can I go live in two places at one time? And I'm like, you can. And was that hard for you to kind of multitask with those two devices at the same time? Did that take a little time to figure out?
Well, it did. I guess the way I had them set up, it wasn't overly awful. But the more I do it, the more practice you get, the better it is. Just like anything, I did say in both groups exactly what I was doing, so that if I was looking in one direction and turning in the other, they knew what was happening. But it was fun. It was great, and I can't wait to actually do it some more, because why wouldn't I want to try and do two things at once?
Women are the queens of multitasking, right?
That's
right. I've been wanting to go on Instagram Live during my live show. I might be testing that out Wednesday night tomorrow. Spoiler alert. Stay tuned. So you use your whiteboard. We'll do a little recap. So you're tracking your goals. I think that is key. I can really see that is probably why you were so successful. You're not just settling for what comes your way. You were tracking it, but then communicating that with your team, which is really what great leaders do, is, rally the team around a goal that is for the greater good and not just about one person. And that really, I think, gives people a little bit of credibility and accountability that everybody's got to show up, right, for this team.
No, absolutely. Having them involved, and I guess full disclosure, my first goal when I posted it was for 1.5 million, and it was my team that actually said, no, there's no way, we're going to go for 2 million. They kind of shook me out of it a little bit, and It was really them who said, yeah, let's go bigger.
Let's go bigger, go home. So, right. Maybe it's the team that should be deciding where you're going to go in the near future. And so have you broken that down with your directors? Does everybody know in terms of accountability what they need to do to get there?
They do, but when I ask them their goals, they're all going for 1 million this year. So if all of my directors get their goals, we'll be $5 million at the end of the year.
Oh my God. Can you imagine?
That would be amazing. And I have no doubt in my mind that we will get close.
You will be a leader leading $1 million downline with $1 million downline directors. and that is, right, that is how you build in this business. It's not just where we get, but how we help other people get there too. And I just love your spirit. I love the heart that you have. All right, so let's wrap it up a little bit. I have no idea how long we've been broadcasting because we had a glitch getting started. So again, if you're watching on the replay, thank you guys. Make sure you let us know that you're here tuning in. I would love to know what your biggest takeaway was from Amanda today. She shared a lot of great nuggets of wisdom, and I would love to know exactly what you're going to be doing to help you reach and achieve your $1 million dreams. Connie's saying, Amanda, blow it out of the water. You might need to get a bigger thermometer by July. So what is your favorite app? That's how I like to close out my show. Of course, you talked about Facebook and Facebook Live. What is your kind of go-to app on your phone that you're using the most to lead your team?
In all honesty, is Facebook Messenger. It's because it's just easy. I like it because I can go video live with them. So even though I can't, because we're spread out across the country, they're not all in my area. So I can go Facebook Live regardless of where I am. Video message and have a conversation one-on-one with them through there. And I don't know. I don't know what I would do without it.
It's like the new Zoom, right?
Exactly.
It's right there on your phone. And do you have a messenger group for your director team?
I have several.
Okay. There's so many things we could do like a whole topic on Facebook Messenger, but one of the cool things is that you can go live. I think it's up to 6 people can be together, but up to 50 can watch. So are you utilizing the ability to kind of broadcast to the masses that way?
In our messages?
Yeah, in your messenger group.
Yes. So most of my groups have maybe no more than 7 or 8 people in the group, but we can go live where we can see everybody's faces and have an interesting conversation that way, which is kind of fun, and it's just a different way to connect.
It breaks all the barriers, right?
Absolutely.
It's like they're right in your backyard. Even though
it's giving us a chance to get to know each other a little bit better just by even just recognizing those faces, because when you're in front of screens all day long, that just, like you said, it just breaks it up a little bit for us.
Yeah, that's probably one of the most underused team building tools, because at the end of the day, the team comes together because of the people, right? You guys are the glue, and you need to have those relationships to keep it tight, to keep everybody building together. Well, thank you so much for your time today. I totally appreciate you. How do you do multiple lives on Messenger? Sherry Louisa is asking. So do you want to explain how that works?
Oh, well, I just go live video call in my group message, so if I have 5 or 6 people in my messenger, and I just hit the video button. I don't know if there's another technical way to do it.
Yeah, you just hit the camera icon.
Yeah.
And this is through the Messenger app. And so you can create messenger groups for your leadership team. I did the same thing before I retired. The fun thing is you can name your team, you can add colors, you can customize it, but you could, basically do a team training or a leadership, just, anything that you want to communicate by clicking on that video camera, and whoever's in that messenger group can just join in with a click, and they can either watch or they can join via video as well. So you're all broadcasting together. Test it out. It's fun. It's cool. All right. Thanks so much, Amanda. We appreciate you. And where can everybody find you? So what is the handle for your business page? I'll put it up on the screen.
So on Facebook, it's just Tupperware with Amanda B.
That's pretty easy.
Easy to remember.
Tupperware with Amanda B. So make sure you guys stop by. I'm going to put that on the screen. Stop by Amanda's Tupperware page and thank her for giving us some great tips today. Leave her a review, right? We love those reviews.
Yes, we do.
And then how about Instagram?
On Instagram, I'm Mara Tupper.
And where did that name come from?
Well, my team name are the Mara Tuppers.
Okay.
It's something that they voted on themselves when it came time to choose our team name, so that's what we went with. We live in the Maritimes, so Mara Tupper.
It makes sense now.
Yeah.
I was like, is that her middle name, Marie? I know. It makes total sense. All right. Thank you so much. I think everybody's like, I didn't know we could do all that. Pretty cool. All right. Thanks, Amanda. I will see you back in our Visionista group. Have a really great day. Thank you.
Bye, guys.
Bye. We're waiting. Be Live does not want to end our broadcast. It's still waiting.
We can all dance while we're waiting.